Hey guys, how are you doing today? Hope you are having a good day so far. As you can tell by the video, this is going to be a stream of me reacting to the Dover playoff race that is going to be getting started in just a little bit here. Hope you guys are excited. Switch back over at NBCSN, see where they're at right now. Hey guys, how are you doing today? Hope you are having a good day so far. As you can tell by the video, this is going to be a stream of me reacting. Knew I forgot to mute a tab. All right, there we go. Got a little delay of my own voice. All right. They're doing a little intro for the race. Showing highlights from the Roval last week. That was a crazy race, which I also did my reaction for. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize if there's anyone thinking this is going to be the actual stream. It's not. Letting you know right away. Tried to make it as clear as possible in the title, description, and thumbnail. Just a reaction stream. I mean, if you guys got NBCSN, I'm sure there's a zillion other streams you can go to online, but do not want to get my channel shut down, so I'm sorry for not hosting the video here, but tried to make it as clear as possible so you can't get too disappointed. So in the last hour, I basically just got done watching the Green Bay Packers play one of the worst quarters and a half worth of football I've seen them play in quite some time. And I am extremely disappointed in how they're playing, and to make matters worse, anytime they got a decent play going, guess what? Called back by a ticky-tack frickin' penalty. So yeah, I decided instead of continuing to just drain myself emotionally with the NFL today, I would change the channel and decide to watch NASCAR, a sport that isn't determined and overrun by endless rules and penalties. Alrighty. Suppose I should get some shout-outs in. Once again, this is a very unconventional stream. I try not to do too many reaction ones like this. I used to a little bit, but I'm mainly only doing it for the important races now. Now that we're getting down to playoff time in the NASCAR world. Desi Peterson, Monster Toe, Ford Fan, Father Heat, Nexus Combat, Bonzi Hunter, Michael Johnson, New Arby Gardner, Howard O'Hara, Lightning McQueen, Albert Stone, Cup Series, excuse me, Goji Fan, 1994, Tenno Tube, Cyclone Power, Hector, Eduardo, Michael C, Alpha Elite Gamer, thanks for tuning in, guys, Alicia Darville. So yeah, they are rolling. We are under yellow at Dover, waiting to go green. Well, not yellow, I should say the warm-up lap. It's my... Alright. I think I need to fix my brightness a little bit. If I turn this down just a tad, that should help. There we go. I'm going to get a way better webcam at some point. As much as I thought on the surface using this DSLR was going to be good for webcam quality, you can't just plug a DSLR into a computer like you think you could. You need a weird software, and that software I use has a giant watermark over the top of the video image unless you pay like $100 for it, so I just kind of crop that out and use the bottom part of the image. Makes it a little more pixelated, but it's still usable. Crafty Alex TV, Lightning Movement 777. How are you all doing today? Do I dare switch back over to the Packers game? Alright, give me a second. 3rd and goal for the Packers. You can't expect to have... That's going to be intentional grounding. Rodgers, you're not an idiot, but you can't expect to have fucking 40 seconds to throw every single play. You gotta throw it away at some point. Jesus. Can't be Superman every play. Alright. Back to NASCAR. Jimmy Johnson with tire issues. I mean, if this is last week, that would be one thing, but it's out of the playoffs, so it's It's not like there's huge difference in what happens with him today. I mean, yeah, obviously now you know, since we're in the playoffs, it's racing no more. It's basically just pull over for those 12 drivers that are racing for something. And otherwise, yeah, just have a field of 12 people racing. And don't even get me started on the playoffs. Jimmy Johnson with problems before the race even starts. Something with his right front tire. It's like his wheel hub or his axle or something broke. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know. I was just repeating stuff I was hearing Rick Allen say. Suppose I should turn up the volume a little bit. I was up to like 6 last night. The life of a YouTuber. And a guy that only once every few weeks can get to see his closest friend that works third shift. Poor Jimmy. I mean, what terrible luck. Man. Who you guys all pulling for today? Who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for any of the Bowman guys, or the Hendrick guys. I wouldn't mind seeing Bowman win, but obviously I really like Chase Elliott win. I want to see Larson. I want to see Larson just after the consistency he's had this season and just the bad luck. I want to see him get locked into the next round, make sure he's in the round of 8. See, I'm the opposite of the Monster Toe and Nexus Combat. I've said for the last year or so, I think if they announced they're getting rid of the playoffs but keeping the stages, that wouldn't be a terrible idea. I think they should keep the stages but not go yellow after the stage is over. In my opinion, but what do I know? I'm not Brian France in charge of the sport. I'm not getting arrested for DUI and with pills and throwing the championship rings at drivers I didn't want to see win on national television, making it obvious I was biased against the person who won the championship, i.e. Truex last year. I just rewatched that video this morning for like the first time in a while during the award ceremony last year after Truex won the championship when Brian France just, congratulations, Truex. He just walks off the stage and basically all but chucks the ring at him while he's like running off stage. That was weird. Awesome, cool. They got a military service member up in the flag stand for the green flag. That's cool. And a little two photographers. I want to be one of those guys someday. With my video and photo background, I want to be one of those photographers. They got the one guy getting the up top shot right over the track, and then they got the other guy in the back that you can see the flag man and the other people in the flag stand. Green flag. Kyle Busch out front. On the outside line, he got a decent jump. And man, I just noticed that's a really cool looking paint scheme on a Harvick. You really haven't seen that one this year. That orange. Is that like the plaid? I can't see if that's plaid or not. Almost looks like his plaid scheme, but it's orange. But yeah, it's obviously his Busch sponsor. Come on, Harvick. I mean, Harvick isn't the first one I'm rooting for, but if it's a choice between Kyle Busch and Harvick winning, I'm choosing Harvick every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Carl Stenbeck, Prince John, how are you guys doing? Yes, the race just started. We're on lap 3 of 400, so you guys came just at the right moment. Kyle Busch out to about a half-second lead, or a quarter of a second lead. Is able to get to the front on that outside line. Do I dare check back to the Packer game for a second? Crosby missed 2 field goals today. One was like a chip shot. And last I left off, they didn't convert on 3rd and goal, so it was like going to be another chance for possibly a field goal unless they went for it, which I doubt they would have. The Busch outdoor scheme he ran. I can always count on my viewers. You guys always know way more about the background of all these the schemes, the racing teams, just the sport in general than I do. I try to follow this damn sport as much as I can, but there's always stuff I never know. Alright, so I'm just checking back on the Packer game just for a second. Did they get that field goal? 17-3. Alright, this is a NASCAR stream. I will try to make a separate video screaming about the Packers. It is still 17-0. So either Crosby missed a field goal from like the 3-yard line, or they went for it when the offense hasn't been working all day and got stuffed. Whoo, I am upset. Alright, NASCAR. Woo, cars going in circles. Woohoo! Kyle Busch still out front. Ooh, we got Chase Elliott looking on the inside of Truex. Larson fan for life. DJ Stamma D, how are you guys doing? Yes, I agree with you. I do feel bad for I feel bad for Jimmy. I'm not a Jimmy fan. You guys know I usually root against Jimmy, but if you watch my live stream from last week, you will see once that announcement gets made, I was like, just baffled. I just said no one under those circumstances should have to miss out of the playoffs, even him. Stupid Mike McChin and the rest of the Packers organization are gonna let the greatest quarterback this sport has ever seen retire with one goddamn ring. Because they can't find a defense that can hold a other opposing team to under 40 points any particular game, and they can't find an offensive line that doesn't have Rodgers scrambling for his life within 2 seconds of every snap and getting injured every other season. Thanks to the Packers' mismanagement as an organization, they're going to let the greatest quarterback the sport has ever seen retire with one goddamn ring. And the refs, too. I usually don't want to be that guy blaming the refs, but let's face it, this is a year where you can. Those first 3 games, the Packers either lost or tied. Or the 2 games the Packers lost or tied, you could argue that they would have won if it weren't for those horrible calls against Clay Matthews. Alright. Meanwhile, the top 3 running order is still the same. We got Kyle Busch up front. Kevin Harvick second. Brad Keselowski in third. I'm going to look up the rest of the NFL standings and my fantasy. I'm playing seed games this week in fantasy, and he actually got an amazing jump because on Thursday night he had Eric Ebron, I believe, a tight end for the Indianapolis Colts, who got like 70 yards and 2 touchdowns, so he got like 20-something points, I think. Ooh, Isaiah Crowell already has 17 points. I'm getting closer to seed games. I'm only 10 points back now. View Game Center. Is that Carl Long in the 66? Who is that? Lap traffic. He kind of slowed up Kyle Busch a little bit. Now Harvick's catching. How is it? Nice, there goes Harvick. Harvick takes the lead at the end of lap 16. Nice. Nice move by Harvick coming out of 4. How is it almost halftime in the Falcons game against a terrible Pittsburgh defense and Julio Jones does not have a single fantasy point yet? How is that possible? Julio Jones has been a bust this year for fantasy so far. I haven't been following the Falcons too much to know his impact just as a player as a whole to the team, but fantasy points-wise, he hasn't done too much. Oh, it's Timmy Hill in the 66. Props on Kyle Busch to let Harvick through when he knew he was slightly faster in the opening laps as opposed to racing him hard on lap 16. Kyle Busch is dirty, and I don't agree with his driving tactics, but I've never said he's dumb. He's a very smart racer. Do I dare see what's going on with Pack? Let me guess, 24-0. Oh, nope, they're about to punt. Tremont Williams makes a fair catch at the 15. Packers still down by 3 scores, 17-0, with 1:30 left in the second quarter. And literally right when I click back onto the race, we go to commercial. This is going to be how I'm chilling the rest of the stream. Just like a poker player with my hood up, my eyes all concealed. My poker face going on. My poker face, my poker face. Alright, you guys are allowed to unsubscribe after that. Is that Sam Elliott or a Sam Elliott wannabe? That guy with the super southern deep voice and the big mustache. Sounded and looked like him, but it didn't quite look like him. I don't know, I think I'm looking... I think that's him. I think I'm looking too much into these Coca-Cola commercials. Is what I'm doing. Alright, get done with the commercial. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's go back to NFL, see if their commercials are less. Drive through, how are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Warhawk, I have a lit tricycle. Romka Zeba Blazina. Hope I pronounced that somewhat correctly. Glad someone got the Lady Gaga reference. Actually, no, I'm disappointed. And another fumble. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm just going to pretend the Packers are not making an absolute fool of themselves on national television while letting the greatest quarterback this sport has ever seen look like he's scared for his life running around literally a second after the ball is snapped. Alright. The Packers organization is going to let the greatest quarterback the sport has ever seen retire with 1 ring. Thank you, Ted Thompson and Mike McChin. Meanwhile, we have returned from commercial. Kyle Busch actually lost second place to Brad Keselowski. Excuse me. Jimmy Johnson back on track. How many laps down is he? I swear, I have some sort of curse with sports. I know so many people say this, but I swear, the last few games, either Brewers or Packers I've been watching, they're doing they're either doing not terrible or just all right. Literally within 10 seconds of me flipping onto the game, they're doing not terrible or all right when I'm not paying attention, is what I meant to say. Literally within 10 seconds of me flipping onto a channel, either the Brewers give up a run to tie the game in the 9th, or a home run, or Rogers gets sacked and loses the ball for a fumble, or Crosby misses a field goal. It's like all literally within 10 seconds of me switching on the screen. So that's why, as much as I'm tempted to, I'm not touching that remote for the rest of this race. This is just getting sad. Not just record-wise. After today, seriously, the Browns are outperforming the Packers as a football team. Which I almost just died a little bit saying that out loud. Kevin Harvick's got like a 2-second lead on Brad K in second place. Alright, I'm done with the hood for now. It's getting hot. Excuse me. They're just focused on the battle for second right now between KB and BK. The Dolphins were doing decent until they got absolutely spanked by the Patriots. Which, let's face it, everyone saw that coming. Packers, why do you suck? I didn't change the channel, I'm just looking at all the scores. Browns are up 6-3 over the Ravens over halftime. Chiefs up 20-0 over the elite Jaguars defense in halftime. Dolphins are beating the Bengals 14-0. For those of you that asked before. All right. How many laps do we got in each stage? Was that like, was it 110 or 120 laps in each stage? 120 laps each stage. The first two. Yes, we know the banking is steep. Meanwhile, second place are battling each other. Kevin Harvick's just pulling away. And guess what? It was 3rd and goal. Packers had a chance to keep them to a field goal right before halftime and make it a 20-0 game. Still just 3 scores. Guess what they did? They gave up a touchdown. 24-0 going into halftime. I will try as much as possible right now to bite my tongue and make a separate Packers video later. This is... another wasted season for Rodgers. And I'm only switching back to the Packers because it's commercial here, but I know it's just going to be halftime when I go here. I hope you're proud of yourself, you frickin' bums. Three missed field goals for Crosby. What the fuck happened to him? He's missed every single field goal today. That last one was like from the 3-yard line. That's like closer than the old extra points used to be. Okay, not gonna lie, those adjustable stand-up desks actually look kind of cool. Those Vera desks. Nexus Combat was on TV during the Roval last week. Nice. Try to screenshot yourself and do a little circle like I did with myself for the Road America races. I guess as a Packers fan, I guess it could be worse. I'll try my hardest not to complain too much, but my God. It's just so annoying hearing that thing all Vikings, Bears, Lions, or any Packers haters, fans love to say. Oh yeah, you've had two back-to-back, two of the greatest quarterbacks ever, Hall of Famers, and only have 2 rings to show for it. As sad as that is, those only 2 rings is more than the entire Bears, Lions, and Vikings franchises' histories combined. So just keep that in mind, Vikings and Bears fans, next time you're talking crap using that angle. I've shut many rival crap talkers in the NFC North fan base. Try using that only 2 rings BS, and I've shut their argument right down using that argument many times before, and I'll do it many times again. Meanwhile, left car is, we're on lap 50. And that scary feeling when you realize that if it wasn't for Rodgers' miracle comeback in week 1, the Bears would be 4-0 right now. Chase Elliott on the bubble. He's literally on the cutoff point right now. He's trying to work his way up through the field to increase his odds of making his way to the next round of the playoffs. Kevin Harvick's got a 4-second lead. Don't remind me about bird teams, Nexus Combat. The Packers have got eliminated in the playoffs by like every single NFC bird team in the last like 15 years. The Eagles in 2004. The Cardinals in 2009. The Seahawks in 2011. No, 14. And the Falcons 2016. I think that's all 4 NFC bird teams the Packers have gotten booted from the playoffs in the last 15 years. Yeah, I've said this a zillion times. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay focused to NASCAR, but nothing too terribly exciting is going on yet. I mean, everyone's just kind of in their position and then getting strung out, so until something happens, I'll let you know. But that Packers-Seahawks NFC Championship game like 3 years ago, if and when until the Packers win another Super Bowl, I will not recover from that. That is the worst day I've ever lived as a sports fan. As a sports fan. Not my worst day ever, just as a sports fan. That was the worst day I've ever experienced. To be 3 minutes away, up 2 scores, 3 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl, to face the Patriots, a team you beat earlier that year in the regular season. The Brady versus Rodgers Super Bowl every non-biased fan has been begging for the last like 5 years. Instead, nope. Defense just decides to just do one of the biggest collapses and chokes in NFL playoff history. Yeah, you and me both, Jeff. I've got Crosby on my fantasy team too, and do you get points for misses? All right, no, you just obviously don't get any points. Can I at least beat seed games in my fantasy game? Rodgers literally has 2 points going into halftime. He's got 141 passing yards. I mean, that's not like record-breaking, but it's not low by any means for what, a half. That's going to be a 280-yard game. That's not terrible. But yeah, he's got those 2 fumbles. That's killing his stats and killing the Packers. Can't blame him, though, if he's freaking running for his life within 2 seconds of the ball being snapped every GD play. Is it still Regan Smith in the 95 for this race? Who's blocking these cars, lap cars, or lead lap cars fighting for position? People are asking, alright, I didn't want to talk about it too much since this is mainly a NASCAR stream, but you guys asked, or at least one person asked, so I'll show you. Here is my fantasy team. So just like I said, I'm playing seed games. Here's the matchup so far. He's got more points because Thursday, Eric Ebron got 22 points on the Thursday game, so he got a nice little jump. But here is my fantasy lineup as of this game. Aaron Rodgers, who's usually amazing, but not so much points-wise for this game. Whoa, what's going on? Isaiah Crowell on the Jets, who's actually got decent amount of points. Aaron Jones on the Packers, who's a good sleeper guy who, if stupid Mike McCarthy would have given more than 3 carries a game, he would have way more points because he gets like 8 yards a carry. James Jones, or Julio Jones, who has absolutely no points into the third quarter. Devontae Adams, 5 points. Jesse James, 0.6. Man, I'm going to lose this one. I'm severely underperforming. The only way I might win is just if seed games gets equally lesser points. Marshawn Lynch, Brandon Cooks, Crosby, who has 3 freaking misses and a half. That's probably the first time in his entire career that's happened. That's funny. Everyone's going to blame Crosby, but they got rid of his holder last year, or this past offseason, who he had like a bunch of chemistry with, and now their holder seems like he always has the laces backwards or he's wobbling the ball while Crosby's kicking. But yeah, of course, Crosby gets all the blame. No one's going to blame the holder. The guy actually has to sit there and make sure the ball is sit still and upwards and straight and not crooked when the ball is actually kicked. All right, go back here. Boom. Why is my stupid webcam mean stupid? No, I'm watching the race. It's just on commercial right now. I'm watching the race. I got the little live leaderboard thing on the left side or right side, so you guys can see approximately where I'm at in the race. It's usually lagging by at least a few laps, but just like I said, you guys can get an approximation of where I am. I think I need to go blow my nose. What? Talking about going to pits shortly. What? Thought one of my cats might have been in my closet. Every now and then they walk in there and fall asleep somewhere, and then I close the door. I heard them meowing, but nope, there's no one in there. Bush and Blaney on the pit road. Bush and Blaney. Sounds like a restaurant chain. Bush and Blaney's. I really like that Blaney paint scheme. It's not the Chase version, but I've actually got that die cast. I just saw the comment, Denny Gaming, yes, I'm Pack Attack. Evan Taddy, my favorite driver is probably a tie between Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson at this point. Yeah, I think sometime in the future I'm going to get an actual like Logitech webcam. I like using the DSLR, but the software I have to use, you have to crop out the logo. I mean, you just get rid of all the resolution. Anyway, I mean, the thing I'm using right now is way worse quality than a $50 Logitech webcam would be. And that way I don't have to have all my camera gear constantly laid out. I can have it all packed away like I usually like to have it. Bowman the Showman peels off his pit stall. Back onto the track. That's another paint scheme I like. Do I got that paint scheme? No. That's the line. Truck parts and his discount tire scheme. Any uncontrolled tires? No, the Jackman had a little hesitation. That slowed him down a little bit, and it looks like the Jack got stuck just for like a second and a half. Penalty issued for the 72 of Corey LaJoie. A tire violation. turn the volume down just a little bit, just make sure. For whatever reason, my microphone doesn't pick up the TV audio in the background and somehow get flagged for copyright. Yeah, I think at this point it's probably a toss-up for my favorite driver between Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. Now, if they're rooting, or if they're both side-by-side racing for the win at Homestead, if they're both in the Final Four, I have no idea who I'd be rooting for in that situation. I guess we'll find out if it comes to that. Hopefully it comes to that situation. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, both locked into the Final Four, racing side-by-side for the lead at Homestead in the closing laps. Wouldn't that be awesome? Stenhouse somehow in first just because he's staying out, but he's getting passed ridiculously quickly because he's on old tires and everyone else is pitted already. He's hoping a caution comes out so he can basically put everyone a lap down. That almost never happens, so it's quite a gamble. Alrighty. Since I meant to before the race started, but I forgot, I'm gonna go run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'll be right back. Not gonna take my usual like 5-10 minute break. Just run to the bathroom. Coming right back. All right, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright, guys. Said I was just going to the bathroom, but I watched the Packers for a couple plays. They actually got a touchdown, but they're still down 24-7. Well, I should say 24-6. We have no idea if Crosby's going to hit that fucking extra point or not. Alright, meanwhile, in the race, Kevin Harvick is still in the lead through the pit stops. Joey Logano has gotten up to second place, about 4 seconds back, and Kyle Busch is in third. And sorry, Bobby. Sorry for anyone joining in. Yes, I know I just stepped away for a couple minutes there, but sorry for anyone joining in. If they think this is going to be an actual video, actual stream of the race. Tried to make it as perfectly clear, and not only the title, but the description and the thumbnail, that this is purely a reaction stream. So if you guys still think it's a stream of the race itself and not a reaction video, I have no idea what to do beyond that aside from blame you guys for not knowing how to read. Packers went for 2 and apparently got it, which I guess isn't a terrible idea when your kicker has missed every single field goal so far. And ever since that rule change a couple years ago, the extra points are no longer gimmies, so I didn't switch over. I just checked the score. Don't get angry at me. I'm still watching the race. I mean, just when there's an 8-second gap between the top 3, I mean, there's only so much I can talk about in the race right now. I don't know what happened to the 18. He's been in second or third mainly the whole race. He got that little bit of a jump for the lead in like the first 15 laps. I believe it was lap 16. Harvick passed him, and Harvick's been in front ever since. I'm doing all right, Brendan. Thank you for asking. If the Packers weren't embarrassing themselves as much as they are right now, I'd be doing a little bit better. But aside from that, I've had an all right past couple of days. Can't complain. Well, yeah, speaking of yesterday, I discovered probably the biggest gold mine I think exists for vintage NASCAR diecasts, memorabilia, posters, knickknacks, anything. I got 10 diecasts yesterday for $25 total. A 124, 4 164 winter circles in the original packaging, and then I got 5 just loose 164s, all for a total of $25. I think I'm gonna do a David Land type video just showcasing my haul sometime in the next few days. I'll record that and upload it, but I'm really excited I discovered this place. I think I'm gonna be going back there a lot more in the future. Keep an eye on Chase for you, no problem. Right now he's in 4th, 8 seconds back. You can see on the live leaderboard. Right now I've got as much info as you do. Oh, right as I say that, he's got his bumper to the back of Kyle Busch, threatening for 3rd. And it's not just any old diecast either. The 124 I got is Dale Sr.'s, that 25th anniversary scheme, that silver one. I got 2 Dale Sr. 164s as well, the winter circle packaged ones. One is his 1994 championship Chevy Lumina. The other, it's either his 2000 or his 2001 car. I think it's his 2001 car. The other 2 still in the original packaging winter circle 164s I got is the Dale Jr. AC Delco, his 1999, I believe, Busch scheme, that number 3. And then Tony Stewart's 2000 Cup Series car that he got his first win in, apparently. So yeah, I didn't just pick up any old diecast. I got, I guess I can show you guys the miscellaneous 5 loose ones I got. These 5 loose ones, they have a giant bin of loose diecasts that are all 99 cents each. And these ones I can kind of just keep loose, obviously, since I bought them that way. I don't not super concerned with trying to keep them in immaculate condition. Alright, so while I'm watching the race, while Chase Elliott is trying to chase down, no pun intended, Kyle Busch for third place, I'm going to ramble about the diecast pickup I got yesterday. Alright, so out of the loose 164s, got this, I don't know the year, I'm not an expert, I know it's a car of tomorrow, so it's anywhere from 2007 to 2010, the Gordon Busch, what the hell was that? They said Bush in the TV and my dyslexic brain took over. The Gordon Flame paint scheme. Obviously the Jeff Gordon DuPont. Next one, a Bill Elliott's number 9, the Dodge scheme. I think like in the mid-2000s he ran this. Early to mid-2000s. Next, a similar one. It's the, which one is this? Dale Jr. Inc. Dale Jr. Basically just a Dale Jr. number 8 car. I know it's a little out of focus, but you guys can see it a little bit. Once again, I'm not like David Land. I don't know the exact year of all these cars. I don't know the exact race that they ran each one of these particular schemes. I just recognized the car and thought, oh, these have a little bit of significance, so I want to get them. I'm not sure about this one. I'm 90% sure this is an Adam Petty car. If not, it's the Kyle Petty 2000 or 2001, or just a generic Kyle Petty Inc. or Petty Incorporated sprint car. Yeah, it's the number 45 sprint scheme that Adam Petty was originally driving, I believe. I think I remember that correctly. And then I got a Rusty Wallace Pontiac from like the mid to early 90s. Approximately about the time when he had his Daytona and Talladega wrecks. The bottom usually has the year. Alright, I just looked at the bottom on this one, but this is an older one, so no year. I'm sure with how intelligent and how much knowledge my viewers have, if I post a video just doing some zoom in and close-up shots of these, someone will be able to recognize them. Alright, I'll look at the bottom for all the others. Alright, Kyle Petty for sure, still. I like the scheme. I mean, it's basically the same scheme as Adam Petty, because that was supposed to be Adam Petty's car, but then Kyle just took it over after Adam's tragedy, where I'm not seeing a date on any one of these. Maybe that's a newer car thing where they got the date on the bottom. EERR, greetings from Honduras, a Kyle Busch fan. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'm not a big Kyle Busch fan myself, but I'm not going to actively root against someone that I know one of my viewers likes. No year on that either. So yeah, those 10 for 25 bucks was my NASCAR haul yesterday. Try to put these back. I need a new shelf at some point so these things aren't just sitting loose. So I think Kyle Petty, Bill Elliott, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Rusty Wallace are the 5 loose ones I got. Then I got the 124 silver 25th anniversary scheme for Dale Sr. 2 164 Dale Sr. cars, 1994 and 2001 in the Winter Circle original packaging. And then the same thing with the Winter Circle, except it's a Tony Stewart 2000 car and then a Dale Jr. 1999 car. Alright, I'm done rambling about my diecasts. Meanwhile, while I'm rambling about that, we got 4 laps to go in stage 1. Harvick is still out to a massive lead. I think they're showing Bowman, because I think he's near the cutoff. Or I think he's on the edge of the top 10 to get the playoff point. I think that's why they're showing him, or the top 12. Wait, Oh, no, the free pass. That's why they're showing him. Suppose if I was actually paying attention... And yeah, there is a crap load of NASCAR stuff. I think I'm gonna give that thing a little, or that place a little plug once I make that that video in the next few days. You're like, hey, if you happen to be in the greater Milwaukee area, if you want to drive like 30-40 minutes and go check out some awesome... Whoa, Bowman gives Menard a big bump. If you want to check out some awesome, rare, unique, good condition, really cheap NASCAR diecast and other memorabilia, go check out this place. That one guy, how are you doing? Yeah, Bowman kind of gave Menard the bump and run, except he kind of went over the... He went around him on the outside instead of underneath him. But yeah, Bowman gets the free pass. Or whatever they're talking about. Alright, Harvick obviously wins stage 1. Logano gets second in stage 1. Kyle Busch third. Clint Boyer fourth. I say they keep the stages, but don't have it go to yellow when the stage is over. I don't like that rule. Alright, Packers down 16 points. Held the Lions. Actually, no. Stop checking in on the game every time I do something bad happens, so I'm going to stop cursing my team. Why is my white balance all off for my face cam? It's a little better. I need a webcam. I like using this DSLR, but just after the software I have to use to get it to work without paying like the $200 to get the full version of the software, after I crop out the watermark, it's just such bad quality, it's not even worth it. Awesome. You guys were, I saw someone had asked, I'm just trying to find something to talk about during the NASCAR commercial, but I saw you guys, someone had asked about any Gordon cars I have. I have 3 total. That Carve Tomorrow Flame one back here I showed you before. I've got his, this is the only one I've bought off eBay yet. I've got all these NASCAR Authentics ones from Walmart. This is the only one I've gotten off eBay. This is a 2008 Nicorette scheme for the Carve Tomorrow. I believe it's the same car he wrecked at Las Vegas in 2008, which I want to start collecting. I mean, not necessarily for his wreck is why I got that, but because I did a good reenactment of his wreck. That's been one of my more successful reenactments to date. I think I'm going to start a reenactment collection for diecasts. I'll have to see what year that Rusty Wallace one is. That might be, if that's a 1993, I might already have that. Alright, so that's my second Gordon, and then my only other 124 I have. This is Jeff Gordon Foundation Christmas scheme. 2006, I believe. I was going to say I don't know what year it is, but literally right when I was about to say that, I saw that there was a year right below the Monte Carlo on front. So yeah, those are my 3 Gordon diecasts. Here's that that Dale Senior, the 25th anniversary silver scheme one I was talking about. I don't know what brand this is. Hasbro. 1998 Monte Carlo. The interior, it looks like a little kind of cheap, just orange plastic, but it does have the rubber wheels, and it's an actual metal body, so it's not a complete cheapie. Alright, I'm done rambling about diecasts. Elliott lost 4 positions in the pits. Yikes. Truex Jr. gained 4. All right, only when they go back to commercial. All right, I'm checking back with the football game. Yeah, Jimmy Graham had a pretty... I mean, they ended up getting a touchdown on that drive, but Jimmy Graham had a pretty bad drop. I mean, it would have been a difficult-ish catch, but he jumped up. The thing was right in his hands. It just went right through his hands. Oh, darn it. The Steelers are winning. I was actually really, really rooting for the Falcons. I do not like the Steelers. Sorry, urinating tree. Sorry, Highlight Heaven. Sorry, all other Steelers fans, YouTubers, but I do not like the Steelers. 2009, 2013, 2017, amazing shootout regular season games the Packers have had against the Steelers that they ended up losing. Well, yeah, guess what? Those 3 regular season wins, I think the Steelers would trade all of them to have that one win early in 2011 that the Packers got against the Steelers. That just so happens to be Rodgers' one Super Bowl victory. Try not to ramble about football too much, but I went back to the race and we're still under commercial. The Battle of the Texans. Ezekiel Elliott versus J.J. Watt. All right. Turn down for what? Oh, I thought I was on the football channel. I went back. All right, Rodgers just gets rid of it. They're showing a football commercial, so I switched back to the opposite channel, assuming I was still on the NFL channel. But no, they're advertising football on NBCSN. Until they go back green, I'm watching football. Sorry, guys. There's not too much in-depth commentary I can give you guys that the pit road reporters and other analysts aren't already doing. Come on, Rodgers. Here's the thing. Are they going to go for another 2-point conversion? Are they? No. Actually, they might. Devontae, what are you doing? He kind of stopped mid-stride. Rodgers has had a few miscues the last couple weeks, but he's also had an insane amount of passes right in the receiver's numbers or hands that just dropped. I mean, look up that Lance Kendricks drop from a few weeks ago. Literally a perfect pass. The dude could not have been more wide open. He even kind of crouched down to try to catch it because he was like so open. And just whoop, right through his hands, drop. Oh, but then Rodgers will get all the blame for their losses, even if you show him like 10 clips from the same game of perfect passes that the receivers just dropped. Oh, it's Rodgers' fault. I've never seen someone so elite get so much haters. Do they go for it? I don't know if they go for it. Take the field goal. You need to get one for Crosby to get his confidence back up. You can't just go for it on every 4th down and every 2-point conversion for the rest of the game. And the rest of the season, you need to start using Crosby at some point again. Quarterback draw with a one-legged quarterback, and Rodgers gets it on 4th down. But then again, if the Packers lose, it'll be all Rodgers' fault, according to the haters. Shut up. All right, back to racing. Black Flags Matters in the building. Awesome. I tuned back into the chat just in time to see you. How are you doing, man? Are your Rams playing right now? What's the Rams score? Are they not playing? Oh, they're playing at 3 against the Seahawks. Ooh. An intense NFC West matchup. But the Seahawks have been kind of off their game the last couple of years. That could have been a franchise if they won that. They won that Super Bowl against the Patriots, but they choked that away. Larson fan for life. Mark Hall. TK Tryhard. Tropical Cyclone. All right. So I'm done with football for the next few minutes. We are back to the race. It looks like they're about to get started with stage 2. Oh yeah, I meant to say last week it was awesome that NBC Sports Network used my that little half-second clip of my reaction from the Roval race for their social media post on, I think it was on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But I was just laughing so hard in retrospect. It's like, of course, the one day I don't have my contacts in, I have my crappy duct tape glasses, I didn't shower in the morning, so my face is all oily and looks like crap, and I didn't shower, so my hair is all messy. Of course, that's the time NBC decides to use clips of me on their page. But it was still cool nonetheless. And Harvick easily clears Logano in turns 1 and 2. Delayed Babatune. Apparently, Aker, how are you doing? But apparently there was a penalty for Chase where he went back to the longest line. Lovely. Poor Chase. How many points does Aaron Jones have right now? No! Yes! All right. Touchdown Packers. Sorry, didn't mean to yell into the microphone. It was a pass. They're within the red zone. He caught on like the 1 yard line. He was getting tackled. He reached to stretch it out. It looked like the ball was fumbled before he crossed the line or went down. But then he recovered it in the end zone. I think it's a touchdown. Either way, worst case scenario, it's going to be 1st and goal at like the half-yard line. All right, back to the race. Harvick still out front. Joey Logano 2nd. Clint Boyer up to 3rd. Nice. Sorry. I know I did that a lot early in my streaming days, but if I ever yell or get really excited about something, I try to lean away to try not to blast you guys with, the microphone peeking out. But every now and then I forget. Sorry. I really hope Eric Amarola makes it at least to the next round. Or even the final 4. Yeah, the Packers, I think, if that touchdown holds up, they're probably going for 2 again. So if they get 2, it's an 8-point game. If they don't get it, it's just a 10-point game, just a touchdown and a field goal. And with Crosby, it must be being challenged or looked at right now because it's their commercial break. I switched back. All right, back to the race. You guys have no idea how torn I am this time of year between like September and November when there's races and Packers games going on at the same time. You have no idea how conflicted I am. Sim Racing System, thank you for tuning in. First of all, how can I contact you? My email is in my about. After you click that button to avoid bots sending me spam emails. I've also got a Facebook social media or Twitter social media. The links are down below in the description. Those should be the best 3 methods to contact me for anyone interested. That's one of my bucket list things, by the way, before I die, is to watch a race at Dover from that backstretch bridge, that access bridge, like right over turn 3, or right over the backstretch going into turn 3. Talk about an amazing view. Tim Fedewa is his spotter. I recognize that name. I think I only recognize that name because he's probably had a couple spectacular wrecks or 2 back in the day that I've seen clips of, but I still recognize the name nonetheless. "99 laps to go in stage 2. We are on lap 142 of 400. So yeah, this live leaderboard is lagging behind by like a few laps, but it's pretty common. Just to lag behind like a minute and a half. So does anyone have any doubts that anyone other than Harvick's going to win this race? I mean, he just keeps pulling away. Yep, flipped in practice once back in 1999. Tried Facebook before, we'll send an email. Alright. I think, yeah, that every now and then Facebook will send messages in that weird message requests folder that I didn't know existed for the longest reason, but yeah, I'll try to keep eyes on both. Joshua Harrison, how are you doing? Alright, so apparently the Packers went for 2, didn't get it, so they're down 10. Yep. Alright, so the Packers are down 10 points with like a minute left in the 3rd quarter. In the Super Bowl, the Patriots were down 25 points with like the same amount of time left, so as long as the Packers defense doesn't absolutely poop the bed in clutch moments and the refs don't decide to just give the Lions the game after Clay Matthews breathes on the quarterback the wrong way late in the game, they could have a alright chance of a comeback, but this is, I mean, like week 1, I've already conceded the defeat. If the Packers don't win this game, I've already accepted that. If they can somehow pull off a miracle comeback, it's only just going to be a bonus. But I agree with what Roger said a couple weeks ago. Just the team as a whole needs to stop sucking less. Do you know what's more amazing than miracle comebacks every week? Not being in a position where you need to pull off a miracle comeback every single week. Tail day? Woohoo! Yeah, I'm definitely doing a reaction stream for that race next week, too. Camden, how are you doing? Daryl Powers, I disagree, but thanks for tuning in. This is like when the guy from Key and Peele, I forgot his name, but when he was Aaron Rodgers' anger translator at the ESPYs a few years ago. You know what's better than me pulling off 3 Hail Marys? Not being in a situation where I need to pull off 3 Hail Marys. And it's kind of funny to say as a joke, but it's also a damn good point. You know what's better than all these miracle comebacks? Not being in a position to where every single game you need to pull off a miracle comeback. Yeah, meanwhile, while I'm ranting about sports ball, Menard and Larson door slammed each other coming off of turn 2, looked like. That's right, better get out of the way, Corey LaJoy. Corey LaJoy will enjoy being in last place. Is he in last place right now? Let's see. I'll have to see where he's at. Oh, no, he's in 32nd, so he's in, like, in 6th to the last. 5. Timmy Hill is already out of the race. Jimmy Johnson 16 laps down after that wheel issue early on. Who is 37 on the Packers? He's a bum in this game. Is that Josh Jackson? Yeah, he has been... Oh, nice. Face mask. Alright, I hate to say it, but I think I'm going to go grab myself another beer, given how this Packer game is going, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. And yes, I was chilling at the refrigerator. Lost Knowledge, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for a new viewer, but not showing the race. I don't want my channel to get taken down for copyright issues. So that is why I am showing the leaderboard. I tried to make it perfectly clear in the title, description, and thumbnail. I don't have the race itself, just a reaction. So I'm sorry for disappointing anyone, but tried to make it as clear as possible. Packers are still down 10 points, 24-10. Once again, they're going to have to rely on a miracle comeback on the helm of a one-legged Rodgers in order for this franchise to continue its inevitable route of its reputation end up being just sucking. I'm trying my best not to rant about Packers stuff during a NASCAR stream, but when the NASCAR race is freaking under commercial every single 5 seconds, it's hard not to switch over to the Packer game. Nice throw, Stafford. What did you have to throw that 4 yards and you still, like, hit the ground before you got near your receiver? Second highest paid quarterback in NFL history, and he throws a pick six in his very first play behind scrimmage, or at scrimmage after signing said contract. Poor Jimmy Johnson. He's just a field filler now at this point for the remaining races. As are everyone else that aren't in the top 12 at this point. Just the biggest rant my grandma has when it comes to these playoffs and the chase and everything else that she has a complete legitimate point for. It's not racing anymore. It's just let's let these 8, 12, whatever drivers fight out the championship while everyone else just moves out of the way. Funny, my grandma posted, and she's the reason why I am today. She's the reason why I watch this sport. She's the reason why I have all these cars. She wrote a letter one time way back when, like years ago, to like NASCAR Illustrated or whatever the NASCAR magazine was. It was basically ranting, saying how stupid the chase format was, and they actually like published it in their little like readers section or their fan section. You know you should be fired as a head coach when not only the fans are sitting there repeating things you're doing wrong, you switch back into a game and the commentators are telling you everything you're doing wrong. I've been saying this since week 1. Aaron Jones, no, not since week 3. He had the 2-week suspension. Since week 3, Aaron Jones, one of the Packers' best running backs, which, I mean, isn't saying much, but this dude's a beast. Is he getting like 7 yards a carry? And with those amazing stats, Mike McCarthy with a stupid quintuple chin. Oh, he's getting 7 yards a carry? Let's give him the ball 3 times a game. This dude's averaging possibly to get a 200-yard game if you give him the ball enough times that you stop giving them the ball after the first 4 times. I mean, head coaching fail 101. I mean, holy hell. I mean, how stupid do you have to be? That much Big Mac grease clogging up his brain receptors? Hey, look at that. Touchdown by the Lions. And that's the game. If Mike McCarthy is not fired after this year... I know I said the whole Matthews stuff after that one game, but that's when I thought it was Matthews being dirty at first. I didn't want to initially jump to blaming the refs. I didn't want to be that guy, but Little did I know this year that's literally exactly what it is. The refs are ruining the fucking game when it comes to every team, so I take back what I said about Matthews a few weeks ago, but I stand by this. If McCarthy is not fired after this year, I am done following this franchise. And I would talk about the race more, but honestly, there's nothing going on. And guess what? Harvick's in the lead, and the next closest person is like 3 seconds back. Holy crap. What a revelation. Blame Rogers for not having more championships when his defense gives up an average of like 40 points a game. For anyone that's ever compared Brady's postseason record to Rogers, here's a little stat for you that'll get you all to shut your stupid little ignorant mouths. Packers have gone to the playoffs, obviously 2009 through 2016. 8 years in a row, they won the Super Bowl 1 year. Obviously, since they didn't win the Super Bowl other than that one time, they've had a playoff loss 7 out of those 8 years since they got eliminated from the playoffs, obviously. Those 7 playoff losses, Packers defense has given up an average of 37 points per game. In the entire Patriots postseason since Brady took over in 2001, 17 years, not an average, the Patriots defense has given up 37 points or more in a playoff game once. Once in 17 years versus the average for every single one of our losses. Also, no running game for the Packers. Also, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the luxury of having one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. But, nope. The reason Aaron Rodgers doesn't have more rings is all his fault. And meanwhile, as a Wisconsin's sports fan, all I can do on the weekends, all I can hope to do on the weekends is just drink my misery away. Oh yeah, back to the race. Guess what? Harvick's leading by a few seconds. Shocking, isn't it? Had a really weird revelation earlier today. It's a really, really, really weird feeling as a Packers fan, realizing that with a semi-ish healthy Rodgers, I mean, he's basically running around on one leg, but he's still playing. With a semi-healthy-ish Rodgers, the Packers are basically garbage and have a record equivalent to that of the Browns. Meanwhile, the Brewers, who have been absolutely garbage since basically 1982, are 4 games away from going to the World Series. What a weird fucking year for Wisconsin sports. The Packers look like garbage, and the Brewers are on their way to a World Series. How many times has it been the other way around in the last 2 decades? Well, I can become a bandwagon fan and jump on the bandwagon and start rooting for the Brewers. I actually am giving you guys a warning right now. If the Brewers do make the series, I probably am going to do some reaction videos to me watching the games. Might as well get that watch time and those views. Chase Elliott's trying to work his way back after being pretty low below the cutoff bubble right now. Granted, it's only the first round of this playoff, these 3 playoff races. The round of 12. I mean, I'm not a Brewers fan by any means. I'm not going to pretend like I care a crap load about baseball. I've watched it in the playoffs the last few years. I mean, like most sports like that and the NBA and everything else, I get excited come playoff time to see who's going to win the championship. But I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm a diehard Brewers fan by any means, but if they get to the series, I'm going to root for them, and I'm going to be hardcore invested in them. And I've said mainly for 2 reasons. One, my dad, who I know has been a diehard Brewers fan since at least 1982, who I know went to multiple playoff games and the World Series games in 1982 that the Brewers eventually lost, and they haven't done crap since in the last 35 years. Just to see them win a championship for his sake, I would like to see. And not only that, Bob Uecker, the frickin' like 95-year-old Brewers commentator who's hailed by many as one of the greatest sports commentators who's ever lived, who's been commentating Brewers games for like the last 65 or 70 years. I would really like to see them win one friggin' championship before he dies. I mean, is that asking too much in a 70-year span for a professional sports team to win one championship? It's okay, Larson fan. It's only the first playoff race if someone's below the cutoff line. As long as they win at Talladega or Kansas. Or just have two decent finishes in said races. Being below the cutoff line midway through the race right now means nothing. Kyle Busch is out front through this pit cycle. He's staying out the longest, it looks like. Do I dare go onto the Packers social media pages and just look at the outcry by the fans? And rightfully so. It's literally the only team remaining in the entire U.S. professional sports where it's funded by the fan base and owned by the stockholders. So yeah, anyone that wants to bitch about the Packers fans complaining or whining, blah, blah, blah. If you want to be fair, Packers fans are literally the only ones that have the right to bitch about their team and complain and say what's not going right. Because they're literally the only team in all of U.S. professional sports that the fan stockholders basically own the team. Versus a rich, corrupt, mega billionaire owner like Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. It's the fans that own the team. It's the fans that buy merchandise and buy game tickets and friggin' hot dogs and beers that pays for Aaron Rodgers' goddamn record contract. So, yes, out of all teams, Packers fans do have a legitimate reason to complain when stuff isn't going the right way. No other team is allowed to. And I know it's a pretty ignorant thing to say if you don't like the Packers, but like it or not, it's true. In all of U.S. professional sports, they're one of the few publicly traded stockholder-owned teams in all of U.S. professional sports. So yeah, instead of some giant, mega, super rich trust fund child billionaire like Jerry Jones owning the team like the Cowboys does, yeah, it's the Packers fans that buy the jerseys and the merchandise and the hot dogs and beers that fund the team and the contracts. And Mason Crosby is going to have an off day, but as much as everyone wants to blame the kicker, I'm going to play devil's advocate. For anyone paying attention to the Packers game, Crosby has missed 3 field goals and an extra point. That sounds terrible on the surface, and yeah, it's not a good look. However, no one's going to talk about this past offseason. They got rid of his longtime holder he's had for a long time. In case you guys don't know how field goals work, the holder is the guy that takes the snap from the long snapper, places it down to make sure it's straight, make sure the laces aren't facing the foot, make sure it's upright and not crooked. For the kicker, this new holder that they have has not been doing a good job, but no one talks about that. They're just going to blame Crosby. I mean, yeah, three field goals missed in the game, and a missed extra point is not a good look. Crosby had one off year in 2012. He's otherwise been clutch ever since. So, one bad game in Week 5 I'm not going to blame him for. He missed that one early on last week, but then he proceeded to drill like 4 long ones in a row. So, I'm not upset at Crosby. Let the record show, if the Packers lose, I am not upset at Crosby. I am upset at the defense and their horrible, just their horrible ability to stop their opposing offenses in clutch moments. It's the defense and Rodgers' offensive line is just garbage. Brian Bulaga, his right tackle, is the most overrated lineman in all of NFL history. David Bakhtiari is amazing. His left tackle. Aside from David Bakhtiari, the rest of the offensive line is garbage. And, of course, Rodgers on one leg, on a badly sprained knee, running around for his life, trying to pull off miracle comebacks when every single snap he's running for his life within a second of the ball being snapped. Of course, no one's going to look at the offensive line. Everyone's just going to blame Rodgers. Meanwhile, Brady has like 5 seconds to throw every single snap. He's got the greatest head coach in NFL history. He's had amazing running backs his entire career. Aside from like 2 or 3 years out of the last 18, his defense has otherwise been amazing. But nope, just keep making side-by-side comparisons to them. Just keep all the Brady versus Rodgers comparison people. Just keep blindly saying rings, 5 rings, 5 rings, 5 rings, championships. When it comes to pure quarterback stats, quarterback rating, passer rating, and touchdown to interception ratio, Rodgers absolutely demolishes Brady in all of those stats, and completion percentage. But nope, just keep blindly bringing up rings when you've had a defense and a running game and an amazing head coach, a luxury that Rodgers hasn't seen any of over the last 10 years. Oh yeah, guys, by the way, Kevin Harvick's still in the lead. In case you haven't been paying attention for the last 200 laps, Kevin Harvick's still in the lead. Sorry, for the last 193, Kevin Harvick took the lead on lap 16. It's now lap 208. Sorry for rounding up, guys. I didn't want to give out misinformation, so I decided to clarify. If the Packers defense can actually do something in a fucking turnover, an interception, who knows? Maybe the Packers can actually pull this off, and Rodgers will continue to keep that entire franchise afloat due to his amazing godliness, continuing to have a job for a bunch of like 50 single bums on the rest of the roster. His greatness fucking overcompensates for the entire rest of the ineptitude that the entire rest of the team has. Nathan CSX, Mr. K Baker, Owly123, Chandu, Sylvie Gang, Zoom Racing World. Just realized I haven't gotten a couple shoutouts in a couple minutes, so I had to catch up there. I feel so bad for Rodgers. Seriously, Brady should retire this year, and if Rodgers wants more rings, he should seriously request a trade to the effing Patriots. I've been saying that as a joke for like the last 2 or 3 years, but sadly at this point, seeing how amazing he is he is, and seeing what this organization I've been rooting for my entire life, basically since I've been 2, for like basically the last 25 years of my existence I've been rooting for. I'm almost more of an Aaron Rodgers fan than I am a Packers fan at this point. Like if some Favre-esque stuff stuff ends up happening, like when Favre went to the Jets and then the Vikings in 2008 and 9, I almost might root for the Rodgers over the Packers in that situation. Just seeing how much they've dropped the ball. And yeah, they got that new GM, Brian Gutekunst. He seems decent. He made some aggressive off-season move this year. He made some... I mean, Jair Alexander and Josh Jackson definitely have not been busts, but... I mean, he made some decent draft trades, but... When you had Ted Thompson as the general manager for the previous 10 years... Horrible draft choice after horrible draft choice. A first-rounder ends up to a different team within 2 years. Free agent signings end up getting cut within 4 games. Every single defensive player that's worth anything that wants any little bit of money, you end up cutting, and then they end up making a Pro Bowl for their next team. Meanwhile, the Packers' defense is one of the worst every single year. Yeah, you can only do that for so long before it's too little too late. Alright, sorry. NASCAR. Cars. Sunoco fuel. Left turns. Stages. Sorry, I need to be talking more about NASCAR. Guess what? Kevin Harvick's still in the lead. What a revelation. For the last 210 laps, Kevin Harvick's been in the lead. I just hate seeing all those Brady versus Rodgers comparisons where all the people that argue in favor of Brady just blatantly ignore the stats where, yeah, just ignore the fact that you've had one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. Just ignore the fact that you've had a top 10 running back almost like every single year Brady's been a quarterback. Just ignore the fact, aside from 3 years out of the last 18, you've basically had a top 10 defense every single year. And the Packers are giving up 40 points a playoff game. They have no running game. They have one of the worst head coaches. No one can stay injured. They have one of the worst offensive lines. Nope. It's all Rodgers' fault. They don't have more rings. When literally every single person admits, even hardcore Patriots fans, if you had Rodgers in the Patriot system, they would have won the Super Bowl literally every single year since like 2011. Hey guys, guess what? Kevin Harvick's still in the lead. Although I will say, Boyer's catching. I said that as a joke, but Harvick's kind of caught up in lap traffic now, and Boyer is like 0.3 of a second back now. He was a second and a half back. Thank you, Dynaco's All Mine. I like this hat too. Just a heads up for you guys. I'm going to be taking my usual break at the end of stage 2. Hey, buddy. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, there you go. I was going to say, this guy's usually squirmy, and he was actually acting oddly calm. Now, yep, here comes the squirminess. All right, here. Hey. Here. Packers have the ball on their own 24 or 25 with like 6 minutes left, there's no way they're going to pull this off. Even if Rodgers can drive right down the field, there's no way the defense is going to get a stop. Sorry for all you race fans, but with the way this game is going right now, I'm keeping the game on until the Packers are completely out of it. If the Lions get a pick six right here, yeah, friggin', I'm turning the game off because there's no way they're getting 18 points in 5 minutes. But if they're down by 11 with 3 timeouts and 5 minutes left with Aaron Rodgers behind the helmet midfield, there's a chance. Oh yeah, speaking of the unevenness of this game, just given the penalties, the horrible turnovers, and the missed field goals, there's a stat earlier. When the Packers were down 24-0, they had 100 more yards of offense than the Lions, but were down 24-0. How does that work out? Oh yeah, that's right, because the defense is absolute garbage. Are we at stage 2 yet, or the end of stage 2? Yeah, once we're done with stage 2, right when we're done with stage 2, I'm going to take like a 5-10 minute break, so just a heads up for you guys in like 5-ish minutes or so. It's incomplete. Darn it, back to the race. Ten laps to go in stage 2. Guess what? Harvick's still leading. For the last 250 laps, guess what? Harvick's been leading. Or like 220, I should say. I'm rounding up a little bit. Harvick with 7 laps to go in stage 2. Just run this out. What's that big looking hotel building on like the back stretch? Is that a hotel? Imagine renting a room in that. And that is your room view. Yeah, we're about 5 laps away from the end of stage 2. Harvick still with a sizable lead. So like I said, right when we're done with stage 2, I'm going to take a quick break, check out the Packer game for a little bit, run to the bathroom, and I will be back for all of stage 3. I'm checking out the Packer game for a... Oh. Timeout for the Lions. Apartments apparently on the backstretch of turn, like around turn 3. Does Harvick seriously have all but like 14 drivers lapped, or 13? That's insane. Come to 2 to go. Why are they showing Austin Dillon? What's the significance of him? He's already out of the playoffs. I think he's the last car on the lead lap. Alright, so just like I said, right when the stage is done, I'm taking a quick break. Yeah, guess what? Harvick's still out front. Is Harvick going to go a lap down? Or Harvick. Austin Dillon going to go a lap down to Harvick. That's what I meant to say. And stages 1 and 2 are absolutely dominated by Kevin Harvick. About to start stage 3. I will be back in like 5-10 minutes. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright. This just in. I'm done with Crosby. My faith in him is gone. Everything I said about him is done. Crosby has missed 5 fucking kicks today. 4 field goals and an extra point. No matter how shitty the defense is doing, no matter how crappy all the penalties were, everything else. If it weren't for those points left on the field, the Packers would have the lead right now. Unbelievable. What do you say in a game when your kicker has missed 5 kicks in a game? It's not some guy that has a reputation of being crappy. It's not like Blair Walsh or that Robert Aguayo guy who has a reputation of missing kicks. It's Crosby. What the hell do you do when Crosby missed 5 kicks in a game? I mean, do you cut the fucker or not? I have no idea. Two of them were like in chip shot range, so I can't blame the holder anymore. Yeah, the Packers lost because of Crosby. This one. 5 fucking kicks. As crappy as Luck and as shitty as the Vikings kickers have been, they haven't had that bad of luck. That guy they had earlier in this season, nor Blair Walsh, none of them have ever missed 5 fucking kicks in a single game. Unfucking believable. Meanwhile, guess what? Kevin Harvick's in the lead, and guess what? Kevin Harvick's gonna be in the lead for the rest of the race. Guess what? 1 green flag pass for the lead the entire race. Woo! Ratings NASCAR! Woo! God. That sad moment you realize when both sports you've loved your entire life have just turned into absolute garbage. Seriously. Do you keep fucking blaming Rodgers when your kicker has missed 5 kicks in a single fucking game? When he's been running around on one knee, scrambling for first downs. Meanwhile, his receivers are dropping fucking passes right in his hands. The O-lineman has given him a half second of protection before he's scrambling for his life from 4 defenders. But nope, just keep blaming Rodgers. All you fucking ignorant-ass haters that think Brady is the second coming of Christ, just keep blaming Rodgers. Fucking piece of shit garbage organization is gonna let this greatest quarterback this sport has ever seen retire with 1 freaking ring to his name. Both Crosby and McCarthy gone after this game. Or at very least bring up a friggin' backup kicker to give Crosby a little competition and make him feel like his job's on the line. Maybe don't cut him outright, but yeah, maybe bringing up a second kicker, make him start having to work for his job. And guess what? Harvick's still in the lead. I'm just going to say that every few laps. Hey, guess what? Harvick's still in the lead. Just sit here motionless and just update you every couple laps. And Harvick is still in the lead. And Harvick is still in the lead. I mean, if you're going to have a race like this where one driver is just the obviously dominant one, that's where the stages piss me off. I mean, just get the... Obviously, one driver is dominating. They got the best setup. They're the best racer. They're the best driver. Give them the damn win. Don't have all these stupid stages. Oh, we need to bunch them back together to try to force a bunch of drama on a restart. No, just let the better driver win. Meanwhile, Chase is 3 below the cutoff line as it stands right now, and Amarola is also 3. Blaney is 3 above. The 8 above the cutoff line as it stands right now for the playoffs is Harvick, Kyle Busch, Truex, Clint Boyer, Keselowski, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Blaney. Yeah, I'm not faulting Harvick at all for being a dominant driver today. I'm just... If you got a dominant driver like this, that's when the stages annoy me. So then you're just delaying the inevitable and you're just trying to force drama that shouldn't exist. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming Harvick at all. I'm just kind of frustrated with the stage system when you got a driver obviously this dominant and the stages are kind of stupid to begin with. I'm blaming the stages. I'm not blaming Harvick. I'm not blaming Harvick for being a fast, dominant driver. I'm just blaming... I'm not blaming the boringness per se of it. I'm just blaming the stupid trying to force drama and gimmicky rules they got with the stages, and then it's still just boring afterwards. I mean, just have it be boring. Don't have a bunch of stupid gimmick rules and then still have it be boring. Just have it be boring. That's a horse collar. And meanwhile, the Packers are about to drop to 2-2-1. And the Browns are in overtime. Oh my god, I gotta follow this Browns game on Game Center. On the live scoreboard. Or live, the ESPN live score thing. Their live play-by-play. Or Game Pass, that works too. No, ESPN. Live scores. And I'm only talking about NFL right now because NASCAR's at commercial. So don't get angry at me. Can only talk about a race where just one driver's been dominating so much during a commercial break without finding other subjects to talk about of other sports going on exactly now. I want to see the frickin' Browns. Just for the Packers' sake of showing how garbage that organization is, except for Aaron Rodgers. I want the Browns to win just so the Packers can say through 5 weeks they're at the same record as the Browns. You seriously got to the 23-yard line? Why am I not watching this? It's just gonna... It's gonna be a miracle that comes up short, but... All right, Crosby makes a field goal with 2 seconds left. I take back what I said. He's been an amazing kicker. I don't take back what I said about McCarthy. I don't take back what I said about McCarthy. I think McCarthy's been needing to get fired for the last few years, but Crosby had one horrible game. I mean, not only do you just give Crosby just a tiny little boost of confidence before the end of this otherwise lost game. I mean, if the Packers happen to get the onside kick here, they got a second left to try a Hail Mary with the Hail Mary King at the helm. But no, it's going to be 31-23. Packers are going to drop to 2-2-1. Yep, Lions got it. Game over. At least Crosby got that one damn field goal. He got his confidence up a little bit at the end of the game. God, I feel bad for him. That is so not him. I mean, he missed more field goals today than he did basically like all of last season. Just to put that in comparison. Alright. Packers game is over. They lost. I'm officially done ranting about football. Nothing more. Except talking about the race for the next 128 laps. I'll turn the volume up, actually. There we go. Yeah, 128 laps left, I think. We're on lap 273 of 400, so if I'm doing my math correctly. Stuart Haas just dominating the playoffs so far. I said Penske in 567, but Truex is up in there now, so he ruined that. Come on, Chase Elliott. He's moving his way up. Points battle between... Well, don't wreck yourselves right now and put yourselves in a hole. I mean, you want a decent finish today, but you also got 2 more races to have decent finishes. If you have a DNF today, that's going to put yourselves in a giant hole for the next races. Meanwhile, Kyle Larson needs a win because he has 20 points off the cutoff. Chase Elliott getting a little squirrely while trying to track down Blaney. Camera's getting a little dark. There we go. Increase the brightness a little bit more. What? You thought you were gonna run away. He was quick, but I was quicker. Oh, you squirmy. Why do you not like being held? You'll chill on people's laps, you'll cuddle with them, you'll sleep with them, but just you do not like being held. Oh. What? What's that? What? Hey guys, guess who's still in the lead? Stupid beard is all untamed today. I don't like how it looks. $118 laps to go. We're on lap like 282 out of 400. That tie is the only thing keeping the Packers out of last place for the division. They're like a half game out of last place for the division. The Steelers are up 41-17 over the Falcons. Holy crap. Rams and Seahawks. Depending on when it is, would you guys be interested in watching some NASCAR YouTube Pro Series preseason racing after this game, or after this race, I mean? I have to get it set up in the meantime. Yeah, I don't know if I would have enough time to schedule a new event, get a thumbnail, do all the, copy all the stuff over to Restream, the event key and the channel or the video URL. I think I can just plug into my PS4 to my capture card. Just switch over to the game screen on OBS, and we could just jump right into some preseason racing. Although, I just have to message IDK Player. I haven't been able to get my live chat, my party chat working the last few times I've tried. That's my only issue. I mean, I can try racing with the guys, but I need to figure out why my party chat isn't working. By the way, I guess who's still out front? You know the Stewart Haas Racing is finishing in the top 4. So I got like the 5-second gap on the next closest person. Let's see the grilling that Mike McCarthy deserves to get that will show up on the Packers. Time to check the Packers page. This should be a good read. Darn it. Alright, I might make a compromise. I'm just thinking. Sorry, I just went silent. I was just thinking. If I'm going to try to do some Pro Series preseason racing later, I might just end the stream now. I haven't eaten yet today. I need to get some food before I would start that. Some early dinner, late lunch. So I'm going to give myself like 100 laps of this race, finish the race. If anything exciting happens at the end, I can still record my reaction to it. But yeah, this time could get me ready for the YouTube Pro Series racing, and I could try doing that. I mean, let's face it, this race hasn't exactly been spectacular, so I can't imagine some insanely exciting finish is going to happen. I'll still be watching the end, but I mean, Harvick's been dominating the entire race, and it doesn't look like that's changing. When I could be getting ready for a productive stream for the YouTube Pro Series in the next, like, hour, grab myself a quick bite to eat. I don't want to sit here and just watch the Harvick show for the next hour. So if you guys are alright with that, if I can try to schedule some YouTube Pro Series, if I can just schedule that stream, make sure my PS4 is hooked up, try to get my live party chat working. Should be able to do some Pro Series. I think they're going to do that shortly after this race is done, so if you guys are alright with that, I might just do that. Get ready for that stream, grab a quick bite to eat, and do some Pro Series racing in like an hour or so after this race is done. Cole Custer fan, Brett Birch. Who else hasn't gotten a shout out yet? I mean, I hate to just end it just like this, but yeah, I could use these next 100 laps when Harvick's otherwise dominating. I could use these next 100 laps to get ready for a Pro Series stream. Do a couple other things, so. Alright, go Harvick. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Yeah, I mean, this kind of impromptu ending it this early. I was planning to go to the end, but I forgot that they were doing the preseason races at the end of the stream. I want to try to get ready for that if I can. So if you guys don't mind me ending the stream a little early, if anything exciting happens at the end, I'll still record my reaction. But me ending this stream early in exchange for getting ready for racing with all the Pro Series guys. Erica Stepp, Black Flags Matter, Danny B Talks, the Iceberg, What Incarnation, Raw Gator, all those other guys. Although I think a few of the ones I just mentioned aren't going to make it tonight. But you get my drift. I'm off to get ready for a stream to race with those guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the race. If anything exciting happens, I will record my reaction. I am going to be watching the end of the race. I just want to take this time to get ready for the next stream. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your race. Hope to catch you in the next stream. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Peace.